In the Impact segment tonight, Bill Clinton has finally released the list of donors to his presidential library and charitable foundation. The former president has received almost $500 million, much of it from foreign governments, Arab sheikhs, and international tycoons. The question is, do all of these contributors create conflicts of interest for Hillary? She hopes to be confirmed, of course, as Secretary of State. Joining us now from L.A., Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce. All right, Tammy, characterize the list for us. What's your sense of it?
I think the entire list is a problem. You have such large amounts of money. They're massive. Over $25 million, $10 to $25 million, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But there is a block that is particularly troubling. I have trouble with virtually almost all of them. But it is a Saudi government and Islamic governments in particular. The amount of money from foreign governments is almost $50 million. And it becomes very difficult when we're talking about a potential Secretary of State to have that kind of financial relationship through her husband with nations that effectively are part of the problem when it comes to the issue of terrorism around the world.
Okay, now we do have Kuwait. I mean, I agree. The numbers are kind of amazing. I mean, a king of Saudi Arabia gave $10 million, $25 million to foundation. Kuwait, Qatar, Brunei, Oman gave $1 million to $5 million. Now, you know, Kuwait, we can't argue is an enemy of ours, but it is staggering the amount of dollars from the Arab world. They gave it to the former President Bush as well. What are they looking for? Why do they keep giving money to all these former American presidents?
As we're looking even with the Blagojevich scandal, is that when money is given or asked for, there is either an expectation of influence or an expectation in some fashion of being paid back. One has to ask, why is it a block of Islamic nations that are just piling money into that foundation? One has to wonder what the difference is. And for Hillary Clinton, you've got a dynamic where her essential experience is linked directly with her husband, and the question becomes, can someone who wants to represent this nation be objective? Now, we've seen with Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell.
We're going to get to that, but and I want to get to that. But here's one of the most bizarre ones: Blackwater. These are the guard company that has people these guys have been hammered. They're now, some are being prosecuted for murder over there, is my understanding. Why Blackwater?
Manslaughter.
What's Blackwater doing?
Obviously, Blackwater has a serious relationship with the government. I happen to like Blackwater. I think they're great. But everyone on both sides of the aisle sees trouble with this list, I think.
Yes.
And it is a matter of influence. And listen, it is freedom of expression. If you have a business, you can donate to whomever you want. But when you are looking at a candidate, you have to look, I think, at issues of conflict of interest in this case.
Blackwater and Clinton, those are the last. I mean, that's the last one. All right. Now, let's say Hillary's going before the Senate, okay? She's going to have to testify. They're going to be presenting all these contributions. They're going to say, Hillary, how can you be independent? How could you possibly be independent from all these friends of your husband? How does she answer it?
Well, there is no, she'll say that she will be. I mean, there's no way to explain that when there's such a, and besides, this is how government is run. You're right, George H.W. Bush accepted money from the Islamic bloc. I believe George W. Bush will as well. The issue becomes, is Barack Obama really committed to change when you had, let's say, Condoleezza Rice, no matter whether she did a good job or not, I don't think she did, you can actually get a Secretary of State who isn't beholden to the enemy or beholden to foreign governments. This is a position of someone who must be unbiased, who must have a clear conscience, and I don't think either one of the Clintons can say so.
Tammy, look, in her defense, don't you think it's possible that she doesn't really care who gave money to her husband? I mean, you know, there's a lot of history there, as you know.
John, listen, she also donated her own campaign millions and millions of dollars. That family is rich because of donations like this, because of influence, because of position. She owes her position to the success of her husband and to her relationship to his success.
Well, I know.
So of course she cares. Of course she does.
You know, one thing that is interesting is no matter what happens, when she's out there negotiating, talking to people, these contributions are going to probably follow her for quite a long time, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. Plus, she has to be concerned about her husband's legacy. Yep. She wants to make sure that the status quo is maintained. I think Barack Obama could have done. Listen, I grew sympathetic toward Hillary in the election, but really, this is a reason why they didn't want that list released. We now know why.
Okay, and Tammy, you know what? Former presidents ought to be more discriminating. Have a library, but I mean, come on. You know, be careful. Thanks for being with us, Tammy. In a moment, Barack Obama finds himself sucked into the Rod Blagojevich scandal.